Fellas, in this video, I am going to be tier listing, ranking every variation of Springtrap ever, or at least all of the ones that are on this here tier list. Now, here's where the rubber meets the road. I do not even recognize all these versions of Springtrap, and that is because I have committed myself to one very specific version of Springtrap, the one I cohabitate with and have been in a multi-year relationship with. So, you know, let's just get that one out of the way. S tier, that's like my favorite. He's gonna stay at the top because that's the one I literally tongue f every day. The rest of these, I don't even like know all the names of. I don't even recognize them immediately off their visage, so we're just kind of gonna go from vibes through a lot of it. I hate the little mini version of Springtrap. I think he's annoying and sucks and I can't stand him. And a lot of my reasoning is going to be vibes based with these guys rather than actual experience with the source material that they come from, for the exact reason of my lack of experience. I believe this guy is either from FNAF World or he's like one of the mini game versions. I like B tier because I just like his whole vibe and design. I can't tell if he's like an amorphous cloud of gas that just kind of swirls all over the place, or if this is more a silhouette of like mangled body parts just kind of piled into each other, because this thing kind of looks like a leg, this kind of looks like a hand with two fingers, like one of the Sangheili from Halo. But in general, I just like the general vibe of what he has going on. D tier with this guy, I wouldn't put him on the same level as like the little baby Springtrap, who I hate because of the one mini game inside of FNAF Help Wanted, the VR game, the first one. In fact, I don't actually know if that's the same mini Springtrap that you see in that mini game, or if this is the one from FNAF 4. Either way, the FNAF 4 one I still think is a piece of shit and I hate him. Me and the hubby actually have a lot of fun imagining what versions of each other we would be best able to just soccer kick into the skyline. Because of the logic that I'm giving you now, these other two fucking baby ones are gonna be an F tier. You know what? I'm gonna kick this one up to D tier because I think his design just has more going on. These ones feel like they're bait for being turned into plushies, and I know that we can do better than that. Purely because of the eyelashes on this one, I have to bump him up to C tier. Like, whoever was the technician on these absolutely crushed it. And one of the few times you'll see a version of Springtrap with any sort of light in his eyes that looks like he enjoys being alive in the form he is in at all. And I feel like you have to credit the actual will to live with something, if nothing other than like an honorable mention, which I'm willing to give them a little more than. I'd say D tier would be like the bare minimum, but I can't bear to put something that looks this happy in F tier. Purple guy, I think he's got to go D tier. People mix it up with Springtrap all the time, but like that's just genuinely not the same person. For similar reasons to the kind of eldritch looking Springtrap, I'm going to be putting this other kind of pixelated gas cloud looking thing into B tier with him. I'm pretty sure all of these versions of Springtrap are at least appearing in officially licensed media. There are like fan versions of Springtrap I think I would more appreciate than some of the official versions, but assuming these are all real, I'm just gonna kind of go off vibes. I'm gonna put this one in C tier because the design doesn't look nearly as bad as something like a Scraptrap, but I think I can only say that because I can't make out a single pixel of what's going on in here. I would have to zoom in so far and completely mess up the framing of OBS in order to be able to see what's going on there. We'll go D tier with that just because I can't really say what's going on without a shadow of a doubt. C tier for the guy who just got himself killed, man. Like, bad practice. The one I know, the one who I hang out with, it is actually behind me right now laughing at my rankings. That was him, by the way. Yeah, he just wouldn't let that shit happen to him. I can't tell, is this Into the Pit Freddy? Like, it looks... If there's not a separate Into the Pit entry on here, I'm going to assume that this is meant to be Into the Pit Freddy. This is Into the Pit Springtrap, so we're gonna have to, like, lower this one's ranking. I'm gonna be honest, I have, like, a very particular taste in my Springtrap, so I feel like you're gonna see a lot of crossover and similarities in what characters are in each ranking. If not visually, then at least thematically. I feel like this is a very harmless silhouette of him, so I can also put him in C tier. I'm gonna have to move the fire guy down to D tier and put this one I can't make anything up about in C tier. I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comments who are mad at me because I'm not even familiar with all the versions of Springtrap that I'm ranking, but don't you guys come to this for like the equivalent of vibe coding when it comes to like my rankings for different things? It's all very arbitrary. Glitchtrap actually got like a real genuine scare out of me the first time I ever played FNAF Help Wanted. Like the mechanic where he just slowly creeps closer to you in the hub menu as you unlock more stuff and he tries to like break out of the digital world, that makes him an A tier. It also opened up like a new venue for like Springtrap thirst trappers. For the longest time, Springtrap has just been viewed as like the big tall hunk of an animatronic. He's always been like Bara. Glitchtrap introduced the idea of a Springtrap who could be a twink for a more equitable Springtrap society. I'm gonna put this guy like right next to what I believe is the FNAF 4 equivalent. The designs are just so close. I can't think of a meaningful distinction between them in my head, even though there probably is a mechanical one that I would find compelling if you had a different ranking than me. This is one of those rankings where I'm gonna be way less judgmental of anybody who disagrees with me, because not only are my own rankings severely steeped in my own personal bias and personal experience, and you guys understand that by now, but also because, like, I'm lacking a lot of information for a lot of these things that I'm honestly not for a lot of the other tier lists I am doing. I'm gonna A tier this guy because he's not the OG, but he's got all the recognizable parts about him that, like, make him recognizable to the Springtrap 3, the FNAF 3 Springtrap variant. I gotta go B tier with Spring Bonnie because, quite frankly, my favorite version of Springtrap couldn't have existed without him first, but it really does lack the core, like the very emotional core, aka a person inside of the suit that's stuck in there and can't escape. It's missing the very literal meat of the character that I think elevates a lot of Springtrap variants to that next level. It remains to be seen if any other Springtrap other than my literal hubby can get to S tier. I think I gotta give this one solidly a B tier because aesthetically it just has like a lot of trappings of not things that originate from analog horror, but like when I see the art style of the boiled one or like some horror that looks like it could have been drawn in fucking Flipnote Hatena, I find that to be really appealing to me personally, like really, really effective stuff. So I don't know what this originates from or like exactly what it is, but I also kind of like that it's missing its eyes, kind of like Scrap Bonnie is. Crucified Springtrap gets C tier on the sole basis that it made me laugh. And honestly, I feel like this is a tier list I might be taking a little more seriously than most because the bit tends to be superseding of all other factors when I'm doing a ranking of something like Delta Rune ships or what is the hottest Minecraft mob. Like, I'm unironically ranking things based off the design I see them have instead of like, do I think it's funny as a concept? Oh, the Dead by Daylight Springtrap. You know what? I think I gotta put this one in S tier because I remember playing as Springtrap in a private lobby, like when the open beta was rolling out for Dead by Daylight. I was just enamored by all the different animations and like all the little quirks, and I just loved how much of a dork they made him in it. Like, he's so dramatic, and a lot of people don't give that side of Springtrap a lot of credence or time to shine, and I really liked that DBD did. The hubby's in the corner sulking because I'm just saying shit that he knows is true, but like, it was just getting to see that original design of Springtrap in a level of detail I don't think I have before, like with the corpse inside of the guy just incredibly animated. And honestly, I don't think you've seen like rated R FNAF since before that, like allowed to exist in all its blood, guts, and glory that is implied by the actual narrative of the story. I don't think it's necessarily wrong that FNAF has flattened some of its appeal to be like more kid-friendly. It's not like it was ever like aiming for like a hard M or a hard R rating in the first game where it was arguably the most visceral about all this shit. But like getting the opportunity to see it in that graphic detail was certainly a treat. I'm gonna give this version of like the tiny little doll Springtrap C tier because the angle that I'm looking at him at seems more like he's talking to Master Chief and telling him to finish the fight, and I do have to respect, you know, war veterans a little more than I do the standard guy that looks the same as him. Hell, he might actually be the same height considering how many teeth and the size of his ears. These ones like just look smaller by default. This one has no fucking menace to it. I don't want to put any others in F tier if I'm being honest, but like it has like beady ass eyes, it's missing its top row of dentures, so it like I don't think this thing could physically bite my head off, or if it could, its appearance doesn't convince me of that, which just kind of kills the fear until I find out that I'm actually being killed. I don't know, man. Maybe I like just have too high a standards for that sort of thing, but it's really harsh in the vibe. This thing doesn't even remotely look like anything I would associate with Springtrap. I know I said I wasn't going to put any in F tier, and I don't think it's an F tier design. I don't think it's bad on its face or anything, but I do think I'm going to have to put it in F tier as a Springtrap variant. The fucking Jokified Springtrap. I'm pretty sure this was like from a mobile game, is like just like an alternate skin. I see like the eyeless version over here of like a similar design, but I like the diamonds on this Springtrap clown variant more than this one. I think this one can go C tier, this one can go B tier. This one looks like the face I would make for a thumbnail in 2018 with the red glowing eyes and all, so you can go C tier for the good memories, but no higher. Frosttrap, honestly, elemental Springtraps while maintaining the main design of Springtrap just goes hard as shit. I kind of have to give him B tier on that alone, like just straight vibes. Like, it's hard to be mad at something with that much fucking sauce, you know what I mean? Same deal with this guy. I'm pretty sure because they have similar borders, they come from probably the same game. I know I've seen animations from the mobile game I'm pretty sure they're from on TikTok, which seem pretty advanced on their own, so in motion they probably look sick as hell, but I haven't done it myself, so they're gonna have to live with that. This dude looks like a fat fucking cosplayer who couldn't decide if he wanted to go as Amy Rose or Springtrap. D tier, I'm not gonna put him all the way down here. Who I will put down here is Scraptrap. I think this genuinely might be one of the worst redesigns. Like, or like design evolutions right after the most iconic version was created, and not just FNAF history, but like maybe horror history, dude. I physically cannot get past how little I like Scraptrap. Maybe my bias is showing a little strongly, but like genuinely, it's just too much. I can't do it. I like this version of him that's so drenched in purple, even like when he's in Springtrap animatronic form, that you can't make out anything except for the purple hued features of him. I think I can give that one like a high C tier. Maybe even, you know what? No, I can give this one B tier. I think the vibes are just enough on this one. Even if Burntrap is not my favorite iteration of the character, I'd say Burntrap is in the upper echelon of like the major appearances that exist out there. Now, a lot of the ones we're going to be seeing here are just like the different Dead by Daylight skin versions of the original official Springtrap appearances in FNAF. I will be ranking those separately from the other ones, probably not too differently, because, you know, the way they move is different. But even still, I think like they come with their own nuances that are fun to examine. This one, I can't even tell what it's supposed to fucking be. Like maybe something abstract and ARG-like, but there's just not enough for me to go with here. Like, by being ambiguous, I can put it above Scraptrap, because there's the possibility of it going hard as fuck, whether through narrative or like when the design does get revealed, if ever. Like, it looks cooler than Scraptrap, like it's being saved by me not knowing what it is, but in any other circumstance, it would have to be F tier. It's low D tier as is. It's like a kid's coloring book version of Burntrap, which I actually quite like the aesthetic here. Like, it's simplified. It looks like the really simplified versions of an analog horror monster, like a kid would draw when being interviewed by authorities, or like how kids would like draw Slenderman really crudely. It's like, I saw the monster on my sweep and he scared me and he looked like this, and it's like, what the fuck did you see that your child mind got this much detail? It's the implied horror there that I really like. This one looks like a fucking screenshot from a SpongeBob adult parody. Like, what was that SpongeBob weed pants back in the day on YouTube? It looks like a fan design that would end up in like an epic rap battles of history inspired rap battle. I imagine he's going against the hash-slinging slasher in this face-off, and he's probably gonna lose because he just has more things to diss than the hash-slinging slasher has information available about him at all. D tier for creativity. I like the art style in this one, so it goes C tier. I don't really need a justification beyond that. I think this might be the worst clown-looking one. Like, the one that I hate, the one I dislike the most that is explicitly supposed to be Clown Trap of some sort. Like, maybe that makes me shallow, but I just can't hack it, man. It doesn't sit right with me. He is soy-facing on a fucking Lemon thumbnail right here. If not Lemon, he's like doing some sort of like, you know what he could be doing? This could be a Scene Anders thumbnail circa 2012. D tier for good taste in YouTubers, but he's got to go somewhere that isn't in the top half. We haven't put anything in S or A tier in a minute here. I think we can skip ahead a few just so we can get like a good word off. Fucking, as many issues as I have with Into the Pit Springtrap, oh my god, is his animation in that game and the lighting and just every aspect of it so fucking good. The sprite animations are fucking phenomenal, and the scares are so effective at least the first time you do them. You know, they become less effective the second time. You'll inevitably see them because you fail the quick time events in the game. But even still, like, that is an S tier for me. And honestly, the design's closer to Spring Bonnie more than it is like my favorite design of Springtrap, which just kind of speaks to how fucking good the art design in that game is. Glitchtrap icon, I mean C tier, I guess. It's more like a mascot Super Smash Bros. Stock representation of Springtrap than it is like an actual design, is it not? Springtrap with a big old target on his chest has to go D tier, but he can go top of D tier because everything else about him is part or aspects of his design that I like to see in any version of him. Puppet Glitchtrap, you know, a lot of these I was like deducting points from for being too cute, but I think this one is the exception. I'm gonna give this one like a mid B tier because I do actually like him on a stick, and you can just kind of like puppeteer around. I think it's really cute. Spaceship Afton is really novel. I can't justify putting that below B tier. We can put it at the bottom of B tier, but it's fucking Spaceship Afton, dude. Don't tell me that's not funny as hell. This guy looks goofy as hell, so he can get high D tier purely off of novelty. These are barely designs. And I have to be honest, I'm way less intrigued by the silhouettes of these guys than I am even by this pink and white one that I can't make anything out about. Oh wait, I just realized I can see the bunny face on this, and that's more intriguing than these. Like, I can barely make out the bunny ears on this gray one, so I'll put it above the blue one, but like, I don't know anything about the lore, so they just can't get any real reaction out of me. What the fuck is going on with this thing, dude? This looks like Madame Tussauds. This looks like the type of facelift that like MAGA Republicans get when they join the Trump cabinet. Like, this is the type of shit that I fear happening to the face of anyone I love. Like, that one has to fucking go. Like, I can't have that anywhere near even D tier. None of these guys deserve to be in the same row as this fucker. I wouldn't even say these guys deserve to be in the same row. Like, these two, I think are a fucking tier above this one, but I can't add any more tiers without this thing getting more bloated than it already is, so they have to stay there. This one's hard as shit, A tier. I don't know what it originates from, but the lighting is fucking awesome. I love how they do the pupils in this one and like how he's in like this burning fucking building. Just kind of keeping it together. This head is really awesome, but because it's only a head and not the full thing, I gotta give it C tier. We have the Dead by Daylight version of the William Afton from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm gonna put this one lower than I will the actual FNAF movie version of William Afton, because it is riding off the coattails of it. That said, the animation and everything that's in it is effective by virtue of being Dead by Daylight associated. I just think that the FNAF movie one is doing more for me. We have Dead by Daylight Glitchtrap. I'm just gonna put him right next to the normal Glitchtrap. Actually, no, I'm gonna put him in the tier right below the normal Glitchtrap because I think, like, pretty much all the same reasons. You know, actually, I kind of like the DVD version more than the official game version. Well, I like the design of it. It didn't affect me as much as the actual in-game version is, so we'll keep it where it is. I just like the proportions on the face more on the Dead by Daylight version. Oh, this is fucking, oh, that looks like the Star Killer cybernetic reconstruction Star Wars The Force Unleashed skin I always bring up whenever I'm talking about anything remotely cybernetic human horror shit, transhumanism. It just looks really good. I don't really have any other context for it other than that. Clown Trap again, another C tier, man. They're just getting repetitive. I'm gonna put this one in D tier because it's like a fucking water bottle, dude. Like, this looks like a canister. This version of Spring Body is significantly more scuffed than the actual game version. Like, he looks cooked out of his mind, and I'm really sorry to say that. I really wish I could give him more credit than that. What the fuck is going on with the homie over here? Like, still C tier, like, the colorway is interesting, but it looks like a shiny variant you'd find in a Pokemon game. You only give so much credit for that. I feel like out of reverence for what the books have contributed to FNAF media that came after, any of the book ones I have not read, but the versions of Springtrap in them are no doubt influential, and I know that I've enjoyed things they have influenced and made possible. Like, I know Into the Pit is based off of a FNAF book. I forget which one exactly. It could be this one of the same name if that exists. It escapes me, but I feel like all the book ones can solidly go into D tier because they don't deserve to be in the bottom rung, but I just know fucking nothing about them, so they have to. I like this one because he seems like a more affable, less menacing version of Springtrap, like a good version of a character who is evil in a previous alternate universe installment. It's like Sans being a genuine guiding hand to you in like a pacifist run versus just being kind of an asshole, but not necessarily evil in Deltarune. I like this one in B tier too, because it reminds me of in comics when they really do go for like body horror without it being explicitly a horror comic, but they try not to skimp on any of the details that the editors will let them get past the censors and actually let go into print. This one's cool, art style's nice, but I don't have like much to say about it beyond that. I don't really like the cybernetic human Afton at all. Maybe he has a compelling character arc, but it's not one that I care to entertain, so to speak, beyond its uses to me in this list. This one goes to A tier because it just reminds me of the hubby when he's taking a big old stretch. It's one of those little things that you just learn to appreciate after like cohabitating with someone for so long. You romanticize even the most basic things about them. It's actually quite nice. Before I get too carried away, I'm going to put the FNAF movie version of William Afton top A tier, and this is because it was a very effective performance of William Afton in a movie that was trying to kick off another rung in a multimedia franchise. He looked good in the suit, the costume design was great, but it was the Spring Bonnie version, which is not my favorite design of Springtrap, and we've literally had it teased by Matthew Lillard that if FNAF 3 gets made, that's when they are going to go super hard on the Springtrap animatronic. So it's the tease of what could come next and how good it could be, the potential for it to be maybe my favorite Springtrap of the entire bunch, that makes me want to keep it at A tier for now, because I think that's where I would rank it as it exists currently, though I am very excited to see FNAF 2 in theaters. This guy looks like a, bro, what the fuck? I was gone for 5 minutes. What happened? Like, it doesn't even look that scary. It just looks like a Springtrap that doesn't know how to react to what he's looking at. Not necessarily a bad thing, just a like, what the hell going on in Miami, bro? That sort of thing. This guy looks too uncomfortable inside of the Springlock suit, so he's got to go D tier. To be a Springtrap I respect, you have to really like being trapped in a fucking mechanical prison while still like being able to have nerve endings and feel pain. I think this is my favorite of the kind of side-eyeing almost Springtrap minis that just have teeth that go all the way around the back to the front. Spring Chungus over here, it just makes me giggle. It has to go B tier for the bit. At least a few of these are gonna sneak through purely because of the bit. You had to understand this. I'm going to put the Spring Bonnie costume from the FNAF 1 movie right next to Matthew Lillard's performance as William Afton, because for the same reason, like, I feel like there's just so much further they can go, though I like how far they were able to go so far. The non-fucked up Spring Bonnie suit can be in B tier for, like, pretty much the same reasons I just listed. Be a bit redundant if I kept splitting them up. I'm pretty sure this is also from the movie, or it's from one of the teasers. That's gonna stay in B tier as well. All the movie ones, like, just basically they're in this kind of similar cluster, if that makes sense to you. Fazbear Frights is another book that I haven't seen, so that's a D. This one looks kind of creepy because of its low-res sprite design, so that one can go C. I'm feeling a C just off vibes on this one. I don't have a whole lot to say about the design other than I kind of like the green streaking coming from the eye, and behind the silhouette is an almost sort of outer glow. This is another book, and this doesn't look like Springtrap on the front. It looks more like a shark, so we're just gonna have to let that be. This looks like manga protagonist Springtrap, which is kind of fucking goated, so he's going A tier just for that, just because of like what I imagine him as being and not at all what I actually know him to be. Dittophobia, Pressure, and The Man in the Room, those all sound like books, so we're all sticking them here in D tier. Don't want to make too hard of a commitment on those, because who knows, maybe if I read them I'd really like. But here you have my current, not at all definitive, Springtrap tier list. I hope you guys flame me for my choices in the comments below and really lampoon me for just how little I know about the thing I claim to love the most in this life, because the more you do that, the more engagement I get. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, this card on screen right now will take you to another video like this one. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on. Anyways, this has been Kwote, and I'll see y'all next time.